Hello, welcome back to another riveting episode of the Gamer Hole. Today, you might notice Z-Chum is once again replaced by, well, I didn't want to say it, but someone better. Pestily, my dad. Where do you think I get the mustache genes from? Look at that thing. It's like a boomerang on there.
Yeah, I shaved yesterday.
Really cool. Yeah. I noticed you beaked the head as well.
Yeah, well, see, normally I do it like, I think this is a 1. I normally do it like a 2. Because I'm coming to TwitchCon in a week, and I was like, I can't be fuck shaving just before going. I was like, I'll just do it 1 now. By the time it gets to TwitchCon, it'll be
perfect.
A little bit longer, yeah. So
yeah, no, I think that's what haircuts should be. Like they always look better a week after.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Yeah,
I did that before my wedding. I got a haircut 2 weeks before. Because it always looks weird when you first do it.
I wear a hat after, like I'm wearing one now, but like after I get a haircut, I wear a hat for at least a week.
Yeah,
Freaks me out.
I was going to wear a hat on stream yesterday, and then I put the hat on and had the headphones on, and it just didn't have that little bit touching right there, and it felt weird. And I was like, no, I can't stream with the hat on. So
I stream with the hat on a lot. It's not bad. I actually kind of like it. It keeps my hair out of my face. Or whatever. I don't know.
But the thing that I don't like is the headphones with hat or whatever. Like when we do the D&D, I have to try to wear that like fedora hat.
That's
on
not a
top
regular
of
hat there, King.
And it's my wife's hat, but yeah.
I tried to buy goblin ears.
Oh,
there are no good goblin ears.
I bought
that
an elephant
work with
hat.
headphones.
You just need to get like elf ears and paint them green.
But look at my headphones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would need to use earbuds, and I don't have any earbuds with a long enough cord, and then I'd have to crawl around behind my desk to like change out my. It's too much. I fuck the ears. Plus, my character, I have the hood on, so it's like, how am I gonna do this?
I was impressed that you actually got that hood. That was really good.
It's a robe.
Nest, have you ever done D&D? Do you have any interest?
I have. I've done D&D once. I did it with Sequisha and Ziggy D, Devin Nash, and there was a couple other people. I can't remember off the top of my head. I was Zarin, and it was with that guy that got like cancelled. I can't remember his name, but like a heap of like really bad allegations came out, and like we were like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks in, and it's like, oh well, we're not doing that anymore. It was a bit awkward.
I feel like D&D players are so wholesome, you know, like they wouldn't be the type to be involved in anything.
This guy
bad.
was like the leader of like the whole D&D community on Twitch. I can't remember his name, so
It's yeah.
It was really. It took me a little bit to get out of my shell, like because it's
weird.
It's good when you're with your mates, and then you can just have fun with it. But then when I'm trying to do it and learn, like I've never done it before, and it's my first day, and everyone's like, you know, like, this is your bit. I'm like, oh, I opened my door.
The voices are the best part.
Yeah.
I basically. Sorry, but my character's a goblin, and I basically do a really sort of rude Australian accent. Like a really shitty one. It's probably quite rude to an Australian person, but you know. It's his character. What do you? I mean, he's an Australian goblin. I don't know what
someone
to say.
said was it was Captain Price as a goblin was sort of your voice.
But Captain Price is English. But I just end up going into Australian every time.
I think that most Americans just mix up all accents anyways. I don't know what. Maybe it's just me because I just think of like America not having so much of an accent, but that's just because I'm American.
No, we do. It's just different.
Yeah, exactly. So every time I think of an American doing like an Australian accent, I always just like wonder if they're just doing an English accent, but that's just
I
because
don't think Americans do it very well ever. Every time they try and do it.
So?
No.
All right. Watch
God.
this.
Uh-oh. By the way, Aqua did say last time that he wanted to become a voice actor, so we'll let you be the
I want to become an
judge.
Australian voice actor. I've done this for you, Pest. You said once that it wasn't that bad.
I'm saying in general. I'm generalizing.
Okay. Because mine is perfect. I even can do the...
on.
Oh, no.
Everyone's waiting.
Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I can't believe... you got to give me something to say. Give me like an Australian thing to say.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
G'day, mate. How's it going?
It's not too bad.
It's
Not
okay.
too bad.
It's much more pronounced than pest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His was
'cause
all like blurred together.
some gross American trying to do it.
You need like Red Ops. He's like amazing at just spitting out the Aussie lingo.
Yeah.
Dingo stole me baby out the back and Savo, we're gonna go down the pub.
Yeah.
Be with some Sheilas.
I like that. I knew this dude from Boston who could just do the most gnarly Boston like thing like that. I'm gonna go down to the Packy, load up the car with like it's like really
Park the car.
it's like really nuts. But yeah, accents are fun. Impressions are fun. You know what's surprisingly easy to do? Gollum. I love talking like Gollum. I walk around the house talking like Gollum all the time. My wife loves it.
Yeah, your wife sure does love it.
Yeah, I'm actually in the new Lord of the Rings show. I was expecting a Gollum cameo, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's way before Gollum, the events of it, and I just realized that, and I'm very disappointed.
Yeah,
I haven't actually watched it yet. I'm kind of just sitting on the fence. Like, do I get involved? Do I not? Everyone's like, if you're a mad fan of the books, you're not going to enjoy it. But I haven't read the book, so it doesn't really affect me there.
Okay, yeah. I haven't read the books. I saw the movies.
From my understanding, the actual like Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings isn't even very close to the books as well. There's like missing characters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So people losing their shit over all that. It's just like, oh, fuck.
Right. Like, I think that if you go into most shows, but especially this one, where you're kind of a little bit open-minded and you're not as like strict about rules and how the book was or how Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings was, you enjoy shows better. And I think the show's decent, like pretty good.
I think it's
as
good.
long as you don't have like a hard like it has to be this way or this way, then it's a good show. Good enough.
Some of it feels. It definitely has a different feel and vibe to it.
It feels more fantasy,
Well, here's my thought with that,
which makes no sense because it is definitely fantasy in general.
It is,
but
I think they looked at the success of Game of Thrones and they took some influence from that on this show. It feels a little Game of Thrones-y.
Like the separated narratives? Is that what you're saying?
That and just like the music choices and certain like
again, we
like
don't
when they
because Pat hasn't watched it. We don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but just like a general overarching, the structure of the story and stuff like that. Because the original movies did have the separate, everybody got split up and then they, but I don't know. Maybe the costume is a little bit Game of Thronesy as well. Stuff like that.
Yeah. All I can say is I've been thoroughly happy with how some of the shows that have come out recently. Like, just surprised.
There's been a lot of stuff to watch. I've been surprised. Normally, I'm like kind of searching for stuff. Now I'm like got a backlog. I'm like, I can't keep up.
Do you guys watch a lot of shows or no?
I don't really have a lot of time to watch TV. The last TV show I watched was I've watched The Boys. It's like a staple now. Every time I got paid to watch that though at the very start, which was amazing. Best sponsorship ever.
That's a great gig. Yeah,
I got the email. I was like, "So we want you to watch The Boys on stream," and I'm like, "What is this show?" But the other one I watched was Dexter: New Blood, and I was a massive Dexter fan, and I actually think they did a really good job of like finishing it. But it was like I think there was 10 episodes. The first 9 episodes were perfect. And then the last episode, it was like it was just way too like speed, like it was a speed runner fucking a game.
I liked it too. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I still think it was pretty good. They tried to made it so they could do a new season of his son in his own show and that. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't want that.
That's like the key to all shows now, isn't it? To like try to make it so you can have,
Yeah, you don't want to be too definitive, especially with something so successful. I mean, come on.
Yeah, got to make
you
your
got
money.
Married in the last 6 months, didn't you, Aqua?
No,
just engaged.
No. Kings did.
I got married recently. Yeah, which is funny because I didn't put my ring on because I ran downstairs today.
I've been married 3 years now. I don't wear my ring.
Yeah. My wife doesn't like care either, but I put it on occasionally, my wife wears her ring all the time, but I don't wear mine because when I go outside and do stuff in the yard, I don't want to like deglove myself accidentally or like, have it. So I have like silicone rings that I sometimes put on, or like my actual rings that I put on only, like if I want to go to the store or something, sometimes I'll throw it on just because.
Is it a comfort issue, Pest?
I don't like when I'm using the keyboard.
You know,
it just rests on like the keyboard a little bit, and I just don't like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I spend too much time on the computer, so
it was very hard to get used to for me, but now I just wear it. I don't really even know it's there. I like to play with it too. I like to fidget with things. I don't know if you realize I've been playing with this little thing like the whole time. This was a gift from Z-Chum's wife. They actually came to visit yesterday. Well, day before yesterday into yesterday. And they had this in the back of the car, and I loved it. Now
like,
it's mine.
Aqua, you can sit in the back with the kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's for children, and he loved it. So she's like, yeah, you can have it.
Yeah. Z-Chum likes to drive because he gets car sick, and if he's driving, it's fine. So whenever we went somewhere, he drove. So we just went in
Did
their
you buy
car.
the car off him? Was it the BMW was going to you?
I did. Yeah, that's part of the reason why they came over. He brought the paperwork. We did a little business and a little pleasure.
Yes.
Did you put your hands like this when you were negotiating?
Yes. Now that our business is complete, the remainder of this trip will be pleasure. And it was very nice. We had a great time. The four of us hung out. We went to brunch.
Wow.
It was very
Brunch.
nice.
That's very adult.
And it was delicious. Yeah, we went to brunch. We mainly just sat around and chatted the whole time. Walked around, went to a park. It was great. We had a nice time.
Next time you guys do one of those big catch-ups, I want to be there. Like one of the subathons and stuff like that.
Well, that's interesting because Friday we have a Friday we start
how quickly
Marauder.
can you
So
get
what are you
people
doing
on?
Friday?
How quickly can you get here?
I'll be there from the 3rd, so I'll be a little bit late.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you at TwitchCon.
That'll be fun too. Yeah, we do a marathon right before we fly to essentially TwitchCon, so it's going to be a lot in a short time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to go over and catch up with everyone. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm not super excited to go to the actual event itself because
nobody is.
outside of
Yeah.
outside of the Tarkov group and the people I've met just outside of it, like I don't really care about catching up with random streamers and stuff. It's more just the ones I know. And then I won't go to any of the parties. Like I barely drink. So
Yeah.
I've got a really nice place and I'll probably just send out a few invites and just have a gathering where I'm staying, but not like a party, just more like, hey, come over, we'll have a few drinks. And
That sounds marvelous.
yeah, and then I'll probably get this phone call like, you've got 40 people at your Airbnb. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, exactly. The Airbnb we got's very nice as well, but it is like once you have over like whatever it is, 8 people or 10 people, whatever it was, they're like, you can't do that, and we'll charge you whatever $50 per person that walks in the door.
All right,
like,
$50
what?
cover.
Yeah, something like that.
It's so funny
Yeah,
how
maybe
ambitious. Yeah. It's so funny how ambitious everybody is for that weekend, Like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. And like we have all these plans and stuff, but like there's only so much time in a day. Like I don't see it happening like half of the stuff. But
You get tired from travel and everything else. Yeah, everybody slows down a ton, especially after like day one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I'm getting there on the Monday before it. I've got
Monday
the full-
before?
Yeah, I got a full week there. I'm just taking my time.
We
Catch up. I'm all my editors are coming and stuff. It's gonna be good.
Oh, nice. Because we're doing like one day before, one day after. Like I think we fly out the Monday or whatever. So I thought one
You're
extra
gonna
day,
miss
but
the partner party.
yeah, who cares?
Well,
Well.
mine's an 18-hour flight there and an 18-hour flight back. So
Yeah.
You need time to adjust.
Yeah,
to the
you're gonna
time
have jet
zone
lag and everything
stuff.
else.
yeah, and I'm gonna go to Texas after it and shoot guns.
Oh,
Are you gonna stream while you're there, like traveling and stuff, or no?
Probably not. I do have an IRL backpack that arrived the other day, but no, I don't know. Maybe one day, maybe just for one day, I'll just like have a bit of fun. But
I got like a laptop and all this stuff, like with the ambition of streaming, like while traveling. it never feels right. I never want to do it. And my microphone, I was meant to do it, but my microphone broke in my luggage as well. So
The hardest thing for me is like I don't want to spend 8 hours of my trip because most streams are going to be like 6 to 8 hours. I don't spend 8 hours of my trip like looking at my phone.
exactly, you don't have time. Yeah, I feel you.
I get way too awkward trying to put like if I'm in public doing stuff. That bothers. If I was just like traveling and like streaming a game from my computer, that'd be one thing. Like in a hotel room, but like actually like I don't know how those IRL streamers do that shit, dude. I get so self-conscious. Not even about me. I just feel guilty about like having other people on cam walking down the street or something.
Yeah.
A few times I tried to like do like little vlog stuff while walking around the city, and I couldn't fucking do it. I was so uncomfortable, so awkward. I did some like while like at a diner, I recorded some stuff. You can tell how like uncomfortable I feel. I mean, this was a long time ago, granted, and I was uncomfortable kind of by default in front of the camera then, but it was just so much worse.
It is like you have to like just not care because
Yeah.
I remember when I was coaching and I walked into a high school and people were just doing TikToks. And I was like, how the hell can you do this in the lobby where everyone sees you? But like, they just don't care. Like, that's just.
I'm a very shameful man. I'm ashamed of existing. It's very hard for me.
Yeah,
But
I don't know how
you
people
should
do
do some IRL stuff. That being said, Pest, I feel like you're much better at it. Like, look at your YouTube
His
channel
YouTube
now.
channel's
You're
already
out
there.
meeting
Yeah.
people, doing stuff, jumping out of planes and everything.
Yeah, I my ideas of doing IRL streams aren't like I'm just gonna walk around the markets, which no stab at it. I actually think it's really cool. But for me, I like the idea of like, all right, drop me off somewhere and I've got to get home. Or like
I mean, you did the camping one, right? Like the camping live stream thing?
Yeah, so I do the camping
good.
streams every month at the moment, and we're gonna have a new person there every month. So it'll be like, we're just gonna find content creators that are close to me, and then eventually I'll just start reaching out further and further.
If I'm ever in Australia,
no, I'm gonna fly
I'd like
over
to
there.
come on the camping trip because everybody like gets really pissed off at me because I didn't go with General Sam. I want to go with you, but not him. Just to rub it in everybody's face.
I'm not trying to like
double
promote
down.
my own shit here, but as my Patreon grows for that
please
content,
feel free. Yeah.
As my Patreon grows for that content, I literally want to just invest that money straight back into it. So like, I think I don't know. We're like 60 patrons at the moment, but if it got to like 1,000, I could start bringing people from overseas like every couple of months. But if it gets to like 4,000 or 5,000, literally every month I could fly someone from America, get them over. We'll do an IRL video and then have them on a podcast and then also do a camping stream and we'll make it wacky every time with new stuff and fun stuff each time. So I 100% want to invest all that money back into it just because it's fun. I think that's where I'm at with my content now. It's just, let's go have as much fun as possible. And just, if I can just break even, I'm happy. It's not even about, making money.
I don't like camping.
This is not camping.
I would be
though.
particularly upset about camping in Australia where a giant venomous spider might bite me in the night.
No, like we've got a cabin we can go sleep in if the other person's like really uncomfortable. But we've got what's called a swag. It's like a canvas tarp with a sleeping bag in it and a mattress, and you're like completely like safe from anything really. As
an American, I have such a skewed, unreasonable idea of what Australia's like in terms of wildlife. It's funny. I just imagine monsters all among you.
As soon as it gets dark, there's like millions of monsters just coming out.
Just like it's dark and there's little eyes everywhere in the darkness, like that kind of shit. But
I hear you. I understand your fears. It's okay.
Okay.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
As long as you go with people that live the area, know the area, they're not going to have you put your hand in a random hole that, potentially could kill you.
Well, we do have caves. We can go look in caves, but I haven't looked at them all yet.
That cave video you did, that blew my mind.
Dude, it blew my mind. That was the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Not to mention all the ass shots, but that was.
I love that. That's the best part of the videos. Whoever's putting those in.
I think it's just a meme now of my editors. It's like, oh, there's another ass shot.
That was awesome though. Like
Hey.
that land is absurd.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
really
what
good.
gets people to click subscribe.
Yeah,
You know? That's where it's at.
I keep thinking about where I put my time these days. Like, obviously I'm a father now, so I want to try and spend as much time being a dad. And then when it comes to my content, it's like, I could grind Tarkov 24/7 to make, the most amount of money possible, or I could just go do fun stuff and try and make fun, creative content that's making people laugh. It's been a transition. There's been, I would say, like 99% of comments are really positive, and then there's like 1% like cringe. Where
Go
the
back
fuck's
to
the
Tarkov
Tarkov?
forever.
I haven't seen
Happens.
Tarkov. You're washed up, and it's just like, but I totally ignore him because there's so much laughter. I can tell that people like. I watched 4 minutes of you dancing, and what the fuck did I just watch? Like, I was in stitches. My wife came in and said, "Why are you laughing so hard?" And then she watched it too, and then we're both laughing. And that's exactly what I want. Like, I've lost all. I guess, is it the word humility? Like, I don't care what people think about me anymore. It's like, I'm just gonna have fun.
Yeah. You
Well, yeah,
should
and-
be like that.
And seeing your channel change to that has been cool because that's a hard thing for people to do, especially if they're worried about making it like stay successful. And it seems like your transition's actually been decent.
Yeah, I think it's been okay. Without getting too much into analytics, because I know that people that are watching probably won't give a fuck, but I think there's about 1 million people that watch Tarkov content. Like, over the whole of YouTube, there's about 1 million people. Every time I post a video, look at impressions, it's literally like 1 million people. And I get like 100,000 of those every time. So I feel like it's kind of stuck in that Tarkov bubble. And I really want one of the videos to push out. And I spoke to Aqua about it recently. And I think we're just going to just keep pushing out these content. And eventually one of them will just go, and then
another one will, and you'll get new viewers that like that. I did the exact same thing with
Transition
Rust.
is hard, but
Yeah, it's very hard.
possible.
You cycle in and out new viewers kind of thing. Me and Kings have talked about this a lot.
it's scary.
Also,
because you spend so much money on a video, and like I've invested a fair bit of money. The Lada video,
On your
the Lada,
videos,
I think I spent $35,000 on the Lada in the end, including the music video. But oh my god, it was so much fun. Like, and now I've met all those dancers, and like they're keen to get involved in some other videos that we're gonna do. So like I'm gonna do a raft 2.0, and a couple of the dancers are keen to get on the raft for like a day, because we're thinking about going out in the ocean for a day on the raft and filming it, or at least maybe even live streaming it. So like that's where I see live streaming IRL content's going to be fun. It's like, oh, let's go stay on a raft overnight on the ocean. What could go wrong? And then we've met like people that do metal fabrications for the face of the face shield of the Lada. So I've now got a guy who said, oh, if you ever want anything made, just tell me and he'll do it.
awesome.
that's awesome.
no, that's what's great.
As long as you're enjoying it, like, it's whatever.
And I think that you grinded harder than I think anyone else really in the Tarkov category for so long that now you have sort of like, I don't need to make as much income. I can focus on making good income or good videos that I like, and hopefully those take off into a direction that not only I like, but also is very profitable, type of deal. Keep the money coming in. You can put more money into it too.
Your channel, in terms of the YouTube algorithm, though, like, this is something Kings has said to me a lot, but like YouTube views your channel as like a Tarkov channel, and they like consistency. So it's like you start doing this other stuff, and it's like, what do I do with this now? So it doesn't know where to like push it to,
Yeah,
so
the way that I like to explain is to when I talk to people is like, they like that box. They like to put you in a box, so that way when they sell it to advertisers and they put more ads in, which is what making them money, they have that box. Like, this is who you are. And then if you kind of go outside that box with stuff, it gets scary sometimes for both you and YouTube and everything, because you don't know what's going to happen. But if that content's where you want to go, it's great, right? Like, eventually it'll take off. And
I think for me, it was a combination of a few things, but I remember watching a General Sam video where he rated his own channel. This was a while ago now. It's probably over a year ago. He literally did a review of his channel, and he went back and he was like, these are all my trash videos. This period, very short period of videos was good. And then these were all trash videos. And I remember looking at my main channel myself and going, I've got some good videos in there, but you'll never find them. Because there was just literally 5 to 7 highlight videos a week. Then there was some guides chucked in there. And then we'd put like literally a week's effort into making a video, but it was just chucked in with all those other 12 videos of that week. And I'm like, I want everyone that goes to my channel to go, I want to watch the next video. I want to watch every video. And I want to be proud of every single video in it, not just to be regurgitated from a live stream. And like, Aqua, you've done that for so long, where every video on your main channel is a produced video of from yourself. You've actually made it for a large
up
portion.
Till the last year, so yeah. I kind of went in the other direction a little bit. I burned out a little, I'll be honest. I made,
but the main channel is still videos. Aqua, at least producing type of deal, which is good. Yeah. I have
editing help now. But
it's his idea that he tells the editor what he kind of wants, and then boom, boom, boom. It's actually, effort.
You're actually proud of every video that goes out there. Whereas like, I wasn't proud of my highlight videos because it was just like, even my editor said like they're the most boring videos to make, but they perform so well. It's like, hey, I killed like 4 people and did some funny shit. And it's like,
so on my second channel, some of my most viewed videos are like the least edited ones. They were just like Tarkov gameplay. It's like crazy. And like the thumbnail isn't even like it's just like a thumbnail of the game. You know what I mean? Like,
well, when we started that channel a long time ago, and we don't need to go too far into it, but it was like Aqua wanted to do some really specific, like, of random games. He wanted to do like highly edited done. And then I was like, dude, Tarkov's doing really well. If I just pump out a video that I edit myself, and I wasn't much of an editor at the time, I bet you that it'll do well. And then we were like, yeah, let's try it. And then we found out that limited editing Tarkov just fucking pops off, Well,
it's because people just don't have the time to play it, so they're just trying to live vicariously through people.
Yeah.
So they want to see some good kills.
Skip out on all the misery.
Yeah.
The aesthetic of that game, it just works in that way. It's just very watchable. Like, I'm not sure why, but it is more than most games. That's why it's such a good game on stream too. It's a perfectly paced and involved game.
For streaming, absolutely. It's got the downtime,
fantastic stream game.
Yeah.
One of the cool things though, and one of the things I really want to work with all the IRL stuff, is I wanted to be open to everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a Tarkov viewer, and even female or younger people as well. Like, you could enjoy the videos. Like, one of my friends is a teacher, and she's apparently like, all her kids are started to watch my videos. It's like they were talking about like they did like a careers day, and she was talking about like, oh, what do you want to be when you're old? And someone said, I want to be a YouTuber, and she's like, oh, I know someone who makes YouTube videos. And now every time I post a video, the class like says, oh my God, you posted another video. And it's kind of cool that like a kid would be interested in watching us be an idiot, like jumping out a plane on a gaming chair, or I don't know what the latest. I actually do a video. It's coming up. I'm rating American beers, and it's public, goes out when I'm in America.
Oh God!
I get 14 beers. I get 14 beers, and we drink them over like 3.5 hours. So like we're just like, by the end of it, we're drunk.
So drunk,
just completely drunk.
Is Michael going with you?
Michael, he's not coming to America, but he did that video with me. Yeah. We just
you recorded it already?
Yep, it's already done.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Where did I don't know the full history on your neighbor. How did you literally move into a place and he was your neighbor, or did you know him before?
Okay, I'm gonna break the fucking.
You don't have to.
You don't have to break it. You don't have to.
No, like, okay, so I moved into a house, and he lived just down the road from me, like less than 100 meters. And I was I met him as a music gig, and his wife was selling t-shirts for Nathan Cavallari, who was at the music gig. That's the gig that we're at. And we started talking after it, and I found out they lived just down the road. And so then we started playing board games and watching the football together. And then he just thought I was like some unemployed dude that played video games on the side. And so he didn't even really know what I did. And then he actually has a history in film and television, but it just didn't pay well. Like in Australia, it's really rough. And so he was working in the mines and in carpet sales and that. And I'm like, come make some videos with me. You're a cool dude. Let's just go have some fun. And the first video he helped make was Operation Larder, where we drive to pick up the larder. And he just filmed like 100 10-second clips and turned it into a video. And everyone's like, oh my God, this looks like the most epic adventure trailer. And we're like, no, that was just a heap of clips. Like,
I thought it was a trailer too. Yeah. It was good. I was like, I want to see the video.
and people saying it was good was the reason why I said, let's do this more full on. I have moved since.
He's great. I love that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I have moved since. So he's not technically my neighbor anymore, but he was legitimately just my neighbor. So, but he's a really cool dude, and we became good mates. And it wasn't really my intention to employ him, but it's just how it's gone down.
Just made sense.
It was
after
such
a while.
a good dynamic. That's why I've been confused, like on the actual like neighbor status or anything else. I was like, where did you find this guy? Because he's perfect for it.
Yeah, I didn't
so
go like
that's
recruiting
awesome. That's
for a
like
person.
genuinely like a real neighbor scenario.
Yeah, 100%.
He's like a natural YouTuber. I feel like he's like made for this stuff. Like that's kind of uncommon. It's fun bringing a friend on too, like into your little world and having them like kind of do it with you. Like my friend Greg, I do the same thing. I bring him over and we do like a couch stream once in a while.
Yeah,
and it's great. Everybody loves him.
He said like that's my Michael. The thing was when it started was I was
Michael.
like I'll just introduce him a little bit and see what people think. But instantly everyone's like more Michael, and it's like well, okay, that makes it easy. It's like,
people always the same with Greg. People love a new character, you know.
Yeah,
just like in your physical space.
As long as they're naturally, you know, like good on camera, then I think a lot of people are open to learning more about the streamer and who they hang out with naturally, you know?
Like, he has a new respect for what I do because like we did the first camping stream together. That was the first time he actually did a stream. And by the end of it, he's like, that was exhausting. How do you do that every day?
Yep. I think a lot of people don't realize that too, that aren't streamers.
They're like, what's the big deal? You just play games and like
talk shit for it.
What I do anyway. But like, yeah, it's mentally tiring, exhausting.
Yeah,
I have to look at a wall for a while after stream. Just like, I feel so bad. Like I stream like up until dinner, pretty much a lot of the time. Then I'll just go downstairs, have dinner with my wife, and like I'll just like not say anything. I feel so bad. I'm like so uninteresting to be around after. Oh man.
Sacriel said, is it Sacriel's wife said on Twitter a while ago, it was like, he's lost the ability to focus on short little tasks because when you're streaming, you're like jumping from things to things so often that like after you finish a stream, you can't just focus on one thing, like one sentence. It will be like, you'll stop halfway through a sentence. Like, what was I talking about again? Like,
I know it's bad.
I love her tweets. I love her tweets because they're just like, she like will point out like just the funniest streamer, you know, thing that would happen like in regular day life. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so true that, you know, just like streamers maybe like not thinking about something or being focused on a million different things and not noticing that longer. I
legitimately think my brain has decayed or devolved from streaming. I actually think so.
I've aged more than when I was in the army. Like I've 100%. 8 years in the army was less aging, tiring for me than this.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to the army. Fuck that.
Going gray. Yeah.
Welcome to Fresh Ball Fall. It's the season of pumpkin spice and making your crotch look nice. That means sipping cider in a fall breeze and using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. That's right, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, a company here to make sure that your foliage isn't the only thing shedding excess leaves. Heck, even Mother Nature knows it's time to lose the excess clutter for fall. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with code GAMERHOLE. All one word, GAMERHOLE. That's manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping with code GAMERHOLE. Thank you, Manscaped. Well, totally off subject, something I wanted to talk about. So we all know I've been through a big earthquake. kind of messes with me. So the anniversary for that was Monday, the 21st. And like that was 2017. It's been 5 years. But the thing with that is that happened on September 19th.
It's on Twitch, by the way. You have that Twitch clip of that, right?
Oh, yeah, we do. But then there'd been a previous massive, huge one that destroyed like half the city in 85. And so like it was on the same day, September 19th. So like once we had the 2017 one, everybody started getting really superstitious about it. They're like, this is a cursed earthquake day. And so since then, every year they do that. They have like a memorial thing. They blare the like earthquake sirens. Everybody goes outside, have a moment of silence. It's also a test to make sure they're working, and they go back in. So we did that on Monday, the 19th, and we come back in. I was getting ready to stream. Like 45 minutes passed, and then the sirens go off again.
Ooh.
And I was all like, we already did the test. So we grab the dogs, we go outside, and it was a real earthquake on the 19th again. So it's like weird. 3 this time. It was like pretty far away, so it didn't do a lot of damage, just made everything sway a lot. Because like the difference is like you get a shaking, a rigid shaking, that's where buildings fall down. You get a swaying and they all just kind of sway like trees. And so then that kind of put everybody on real alert in the city. And then 2 days later, we had one in the middle of the night again. So like I can't sleep anymore. It's goddamn taking over my life. I'm losing my mind. So like in the middle of the night, the sirens go off again, and we go outside. Everything starts shaking again. I don't know what's going on, but
how long do they last usually?
Like 2 minutes. It varies. You can get some that last like 4 or 5, but usually it's a 2-minute shiz.
That's terrifying. Are you getting like that dizziness thing again? Or
no, it's full on back. Yeah. Like it's permanently stayed since like the 2017 one a little bit, but now like anywhere I go, I'm just like floating. So like between that, exactly. Between that and just not being able to sleep, it's been terrible. I'm not going to be in Mexico next September.
I was going to say, I can fly you up here for that date every single year. That's not a big deal.
I'm coming to hang out with you, Kings.
I'm serious. Yeah, we'll do that.
It's been a nightmare. And then I got food poisoning from eating a week-old pizza. So this weekend's been real rough.
I feel like giving you a hug. It's gonna be okay.
But no, that's where I was going. You guys are talking about the dinner Tanya took me to on our anniversary. We learned that like I'm a super picky eater, but I like tandoor chicken, which is like an Indian thing. Okay. And she loves like curry and everything else. So like we went to a nice Indian place. We were gonna get dinner. And I'd been feeling bad even on stream before that. And then like we got there and I felt like Aqua and his wife on their honeymoon or whatever. Yeah. And I was just like, I took like 2 bites and I was like, I can't eat. I just can't. I was like, I can't even drink this beer.
A shame.
Yeah. I was like, I can't drink this beer. I was like, I just need like carbonated water and I'm just going to sit here. I was like, we don't need to go home. You enjoy your meal, but I'm just gonna sit here and not talk much.
At least you were sitting there. I got like left, and I wanted to have the waitress sit down or something because like I drank the whole bottle of wine myself, and like
you should have at least played it up and like made your wife slap you or something. That way you could be like,
but she did like storm out because she was gonna puke.
That's what I mean. That she should,
like we got in a fight, and I was just like sitting there like. Yeah.
By the time we got home, dude, I was like sweating nonstop. My body had like chill bumps everywhere. I was like freezing, and then like I got in the covers and I was like burning hot. And I was like, dude, if I actually like get a proper like, and like it's got to be food poisoning. So I was like, luckily it'll be gone by the time I need to fly out this next week.
Yeah.
And I feel fine today, but dude, I was miserable. That was rough.
Maybe keep the pizza eating to like a 4-day thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you just nuke it in the microwave? Is that what you did?
I put it in the air fryer. And I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. And I've eaten plenty of week-old pizza. It's never been a big deal. Being in Mexico, I feel like my body and my gut biome have definitely become accustomed to a lot of, more bacteria than the normal person's used to in the US or something.
Yeah.
But it caught up to me today.
We really need to get that floor chicken cooking back, though.
It's not the same. He's like in a nice apartment now with like wood floors.
It's a little bit different experience.
Yeah.
Without doxing yourself, are you like right on the border of America, or are you like?
No, I'm Mexico City. That's very like central. That's like in the middle of the country, not near the beaches, not near the border.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not close to anything other than the city itself.
I just Google in Mexico City so I can get.
It's like on top of like a old volcano, right? It's kind of like in the crater of the mountain or something, right?
It's an old lake bed, but it's 7,000 feet elevation, so it's very high. And then there's volcanoes nearby. You can see the smoke when one gets activated.
Because I was watching something.
I mean the volcanoes. I mean, they are alive. They're not dormant, but they're not supposed to be going crazy. And we're far enough away from it. I mean, nothing would be that crazy. But I mean, as far as like natural disasters, the main thing you only have to worry about is earthquakes, because like it's on a mountain, it's on an old lake bed, so it's soft soil, which makes everything move more. And then they decided to build the entire city out of concrete and rebar, which is not very flexible. So when an earthquake does happen, it's usually semi-serious compared to, steel beams or making stuff out of wood and shit. It's a lot different.
You know what's cool? I learned this. They put the Empire State Building on railroad tracks, like on wheels or something, for the base of it, so that because they didn't have like flexible steel in the 20s or whenever they made it, so that the thing to allow for like an earthquake or just like normal wind or shifting, that it doesn't
no way
disintegrate.
And it's still on, not just to build it.
I think so. I mean, unless I'm just making this up.
I saw a thing, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't New York City, but there was a massive building like that was on something like railroad system or something, not railroad track, but it was something like that, where they actually turned it, because when they do repairs underneath the thing, they have to turn the building to do the repairs and then turn it back. I don't remember what I was watching, but it was absolutely crazy to see how they built or repaired the underground system. I don't know how they did it, but it would actually move the building 2 inches a day until it was turned enough, and then they would fix something and then turn it back.
Huh.
And it was because it was some sort of subway or something that they were fixing underneath, and they had to move the building to be able to get to it or some bullshit.
Maybe I'm wrong about this wheel thing.
You can't find it. Yeah, but I did see that they do
commonly search thing.
They do that with lots of other buildings. I think they can move big buildings with weird stuff like that on the underground system.
God damn it.
Okay,
maybe I'm wrong.
Viewers, someone tell us if any of this is true or we're just making shit up.
I heard that somewhere. I think it was from when I took it, went to the top and there was a tour thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I heard it, but some idiot might have just told me that, and now
some
I'm being the idiot telling everyone that.
I hope some old guy was just sitting there hey, did you know that this is built on railroad tracks?
Yeah.
He's not the tour guide or anything.
Actually, the guy hanging outside the building is just a guy on meth. Just making it up.
Just a tour guide. Just take a tour of the Empire State Building.
He didn't even work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this idea for Halloween, and I don't know if people have probably already done it, but I think it'd be just fun to do. I think Michael and I put this idea forward. We get dressed up like really scary clowns, and then we just go wait in elevators for the day, and then just film people's reactions of us when they open the elevator.
Yeah,
I think that's something I've got coming up. This is just a segue away from construction, because we obviously have no idea about that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Thank you.
Good call. Good call.
In the members only episode, we talked about some other stuff, and I did a disclaimer. We are the least knowledgeable people possible about most things. We're as people who sit inside at the computer most of the time.
Yeah.
Halloween's not a big thing in Australia. It's actually it's slowly getting bigger, but it's not really a huge thing. But I thought that would be a fun idea of doing something for Halloween, but also probably probably getting kicked out of the city.
Yeah.
You'll
probably get in trouble.
Seems a little bit questionable.
I just want to drag a sledgehammer around the city and just wear a clown outfit.
Maybe you could find a cool place that would allow you to do that in their elevators. Get it approved.
I was just going to go the public ones.
Oh, well.
Go to a train station. Go to
Yeah. Those might not be as good.
just haunt.
Do you guys do stuff
train.
for Halloween? Is it like a big thing for you guys?
Kind of. When for kids, yeah, kids love it.
Kids, it's huge, and then college, it's huge because it's kind of like the free day to wear whatever the hell you want and be kind of hook up with whoever you want type of deal for college. And then after that, it's less so.
I kind of feel like I've missed out on a portion of life for not going to American colleges. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a fucking mess.
It's not worth it though because it costs $250,000 or whatever to do it. But yeah,
I learned I learned how to get drunk in college, and I also learned how to do Adobe Photoshop.
There you go.
That's cool. That's how I made my thumbnails.
Most valuable skill.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's an experience. It's not quite like the movies make it out to be or whatever, but
all I ever imagine
regret
is
it.
like parties where it's like you've got to come with like 7 chicks to get in, and it's got to be, I don't know.
Well, if you're in like a frat or just like a weirdo, yeah, that's kind of true, actually.
Well, no, the frat that, like, you don't have to be in the frat, but yeah, if you're generally friends with frat people, then you usually get into parties easier and like actually invited rather than like people walking by the house and then being like, oh, let me in. And then in that case, if you're a random person walking by the house, it might wane towards who's asking / who you're with. Yeah,
I try to break the norm and just throw these parties so you're not allowed to be in a frat.
Let's have a fratty party at TwitchCon.
Oh, just at the Airbnb, just like
make it a toga party, Pest. Why not?
Yeah, Pest,
or an early Halloween party.
Do an ABC party, and then you'll be good.
What's an ABC?
Here's what you do:
anything
capture
but clothes.
The college.
No pants
ABC
party.
is anything but clothes. You can wear whatever you want, but it just can't be actual clothes.
Yeah.
So that's usually where people like
Here
yeah.
Here's how you capture the essence of an American college party. Do that. Requires some kind of weird clothing thing, and then fill a trash can with every type of alcohol you have, as well as like high C powder. And if you want to be a bad boy and kind of like piss everyone off, put some Robitussin in there.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know what that is.
There you go. That's
like cough syrup.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I did go to a party like that once. It was fucking horrible.
Don't take anything Aqua says as advice.
Yeah, no.
Kids at home, drink responsibly. Don't put your Robitussin in your alcohol.
Don't dose everyone at your party without telling them with fucking cough syrup in your...
Jungle juice is a thing in college, but generally I didn't drink from any of those. Yeah.
No, none of that. I never had that.
Yeah, I've never had. But like there is a jungle juice thing where you just, when people are making the punch, they're just like, fuck it, we have a random bottle of whatever, let's dump it in.
Put anything in there to just fuck people up, and then we drink a bunch of that, and then you have the most just delicious cocktail of like different elements, making you feel worse than you've ever felt in your life the next day.
You mix like wine with beer with Coke with
that
whatever.
And just the amount of sugar in your body, you just feel like everything's just shot. You just feel like yeah,
parties
let's
in
not
Australia
do that. Never again.
Was like you'd have someone's house, everyone would just rock up. There'd be like a rubbish bin or something on fire in the back, and then like one of those little steel like rubbish bins, like a small one.
Yeah.
And then that's about like everyone would just stand around and get drunk, and then after like people started to go home, all the guys would still be like horny and drunk, and so they'd start walking home, and then violence would happen and the cops would come, and that's about every single party that I've been to.
Not too different from
that's a different type of college party that happens too.
There's definitely those as well.
There was never any like at least in my experience, like really fancy, like go to a really nice house and
I was talking about a frat party, like a trashy frat party, or a garage party.
I've been to a couple of like most of the fancy parties I've been to are like very limited to the amount of people that you go. You're looking at 20 under, so it's not really a party. It's
if there are any fraternity people in this community, we want an invite. I will fly to America. I want to go to a full legit frat party. I want like a proper frat party experience.
Yeah, I might be totally wrong. I was not cool enough to go to frat parties, so I
You gotta make sure
I
you have
went to
khaki
maybe
shorts and
one or
boat
two.
shoes.
What?
You need to make sure you have your khaki shorts and boat shoes
Yeah.
ready.
No,
Yeah.
we had those. Yeah. No, I went to frat parties like every week or every other week or something. For a
Yeah,
while
you
in
probably
college.
know much better than I
If
do.
if you bring all 4 of us, I'll buy a keg. I think that's a decent cover fee.
Yeah.
Decent offering, yeah.
Not the fact that I have to pay $3,000 to get it to America and back. But still,
Not yet.
Bring a Foster's keg.
Oh, I remember
married blokes that are 30 years old.
people in college
Let's
towns
go.
that own people that own the buildings like near in college towns or whatever that just like rent them out to college kids too, or they live there but they're like 25 or whatever and they just live there. They make killings because they just do those cover party shit, like drunk college kids walking by that wants to go to another party or couldn't get into the frat. They'll be like, yeah, $5 and you can get in. And then they'll just make like thousands of dollars because they'd pack as many college kids into their basement as they can.
Or
And
you can charge per cup.
per cup,
That was
they do
common
that.
too.
Are you serious?
Pay like $5 and they give you a solo cup and you just
Yeah.
keep it. And then everybody's all
okay.
drunk and stupid, so they lose their cup
Yep.
and then they buy another one.
Buy another cup. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of them were, yeah. I wonder if
Or you get so drunk that you just pick up someone else's and drink out of it, which is gross.
I wonder if inflation, because it's like so expensive now, how much cover to get into places are now.
I
Do
don't
you think
know.
it's like $20? Like,
Yeah.
oh, here's $20 to get in this
Right.
fucking house, for a cup and a gross cup, and then they buy the cheapest alcohol just sitting there. My worst time that I ever got blackout, I didn't really black out, but I was pretty fucking close. Was my friend. We went to a party like that, and it was $5 a cup or whatever. We went in, we hung out, and he made like a drink that I thought was like a mixed drink, and he gave it to me, and it was just he was a guy who was like really a partier, and it was just straight vodka, and I pounded it. Like I don't know how much was in there, but I just drank the whole thing. And he was like that, and I didn't realize it till halfway through, and I was like, "This is a mistake." And my throat has never burnt so much in its life
Yeah.
because it's just cheap. It's the cheapest vodka in the world. They're not going to pay for good stuff.
Was it Dubra?
I don't know what it was. It was definitely a plastic, handle.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the mark of a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I can't drink anymore. Last episode, I was so hungover when we recorded it. Not the special episode we did, but I had 2 cocktails and I thought I was gonna die. My body is just not there anymore. I sit, I play games. I don't have the blood flow to deal with alcohol anymore.
When you turn 30,
I'm
you
just
get the
old.
2-day hangovers, and it's like a
Yeah.
rite of passage. It's like, welcome to being 30, 2-day hangovers. Watch out for sleep faces. Like, these things are just painful now. Like, you don't bounce like you used to.
Yeah. The 2-day hangover, it makes it just not worth it anymore. I
Yeah.
can't be hungover for 2 days. I have shit to do. Like,
I'm a
Fuck
dad.
that.
I got to look after a baby.
how has fatherhood been?
Yeah,
if
it's
you
good.
don't mind talking about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you earlier.
I generally don't like talk about specifics. But
yeah.
no, it's an adjustment. It's probably what I thought it would be, but a little bit more full on. It's just I thought it'd be very time consuming, but it's like every spare minute. Like one of either me or my wife has to be constant while she's awake. So it's I always thought like, they're playing for like half an hour every now and then, but no, like it's pretty constant. You might be able to put it
That's
down for 5
baby
minutes.
life and young kid, I guess.
That's what I
Right.
said. That's what I've always said about having children. Again, I'm not a father, so I wouldn't really know. But I've always said, like, for the first few years, your job is to kind of make sure that they can 24/7, like, be responsible for them. Because you can't, they don't know what they're doing. You have to watch them 24/7. That's how it is.
The coolest thing is, at least in my mind, is every time you show them something new, you're the person to teach them that. Like, I'm like, this is the first time you're listening to Queen. And I'm like, Bohemian Rhapsody, like, let's go. And so I go through all the music that I like. I'm like, I was the person to show you all your first experiences with this music, or like.
Wait till she starts like remembering that stuff.
Yeah, and
when you
like,
teach
yeah.
it to her.
So I think that's actually a really exciting thing. Is like you're like the giver of knowledge to a human being, and you get to teach them all these cool things. And then every now and then, like it can literally be you. If I was busy for a day the next day she'll do something new, like, and you'll just see it like overnight. Like going to America for, I think I'm away for about 14 days, 13 days. When I get back, it's going to be like so different. I can already tell because just so much can happen in 3 days or 2 days. So I can understand how people are like, they don't really want to leave their children. And I'm so glad I waited till I was out of the army, because when I was in the army, I spent 100 to 150 days away a year.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine not being present for that much of my child's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
when you come
crazy.
back from America, probably be doing long division and maybe, something like that. Maybe just doing rocket science, when you
Maybe
come back,
she'll-
building a rocket in the backyard, you never know.
Maybe
probably-
she'll stream Tarkov from your account while you're gone.
The real goal.
No, my luck, she'll be just learn how to do like snot rockets or something and just be like, yeah, well, that's the life
That's
skill.
very cool. That's
Sure.
a good skill. Yeah.
Yeah, I would highly recommend doing it, but make sure we waited until we were like ready. We didn't rush it because unfortunately, like women have like a body clock of when's the best time to have kids, and it's always the younger the better. Really, that's pretty much the basic for it. But we were still like, well, we kind of want to have a house. We kind of want to be not worrying about where we're going to live next or how we're going financially. We wanted to set ourselves up. So I'm glad we did wait. But
That's responsible.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I've got a friend.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I got a friend that she was 16 when she had her first child, and she had twins when she was 18. And she's like, so she's 36 now. So the first one's like 18 years old, and the other two are 16. And she's like, when they're 20, if they're not out of the house by 20, I'm booting them out. And she's gonna be like 38 years old and just like party, like she's like living her life. A little bit envious of that kind of thing. She can like literally live her life in her 30s still and already have 3 kids.
Crazy.
But I wouldn't recommend having kids at 16 years old.
Yeah. She gave up the 16 to whatever, but she at least gets to live the.
She's a trooper. Like she's the kind of person you could like throw stones at and she'll like, I don't know, beat you down with a baseball bat. Like she's really strong person.
I couldn't imagine being in that situation at that age.
Well, like
Like,
3 kids
now
by
I feel-
18?
I'm like, how do I do a kickflip?
Yeah, exactly.
In saying that, YouTube back then would have been so good because like I had to like try and figure out how to do a kickflip with my mates, and we're like looking at like a magazine or a VHS video and shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's so many good tutorials on how to do a kickflip now.
Mm-hmm.
You used to have to go like hang out at a skate shop or a skate park, and like some cool older skater would like teach you if you were lucky how to do it. I remember my friend's older brother taught us how to ollie and then like explained it, and then I practiced for like 2 months or something, and then I finally figured it out. Sorry, Kings.
No, that's essentially what I was going to say. My friend was good at skating. He used to skate all the time. He used to hang out in skate parks and probably learn from an old. But then he tried to teach me, and the way he taught me was like, you just sort of like put your foot here and then kick, and that's like literally the only. And then, yeah, that's why I never was a skateboarder, because I would try to learn from him rather than hang out in a skate shop or
Not a
with
good
people
teacher.
that he was just like, yeah, you just do that, man. Like you'll get
Yeah.
it. Keep practicing. And I was like, okay.
You know, it was crazy. Like, I know skateboarding was popular, when we were growing up.
Mhm.
But like, I didn't realize like all of us at the subathon pretty much were able to do a skateboard trick. Like when Zeechum just busted out
That
a
was the most
kickflip
amazing,
barefoot,
especially out of him.
He had never talked about skateboarding once or like learning about it or anything. And he like, I was doing skateboard tricks on it because like I talk about it a lot. Like, and he's never mentioned it. And he's just like walks up to it in no shoes and did a perfect kickflip. What the fuck?
I think
I was blown away.
It was just popular back then. Even people that didn't skate kind of like jumped on and every once in a while tried something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just thought that was insane and funny.
I was
He's just
actually
not the skater type.
I was actually thinking about making it a skate park outside of my studio, but I was like, it's so expensive for what I would use I'd get out of it.
Yeah.
Do you skateboard still?
I have one. I got one just before I went to Europe, but like I've put on a fair bit of weight since starting streaming. And like, I'm like, if I try and do a kickflip now, I wouldn't even get off the ground. You know, like
No, you definitely still could.
It's
and honestly, like I noticed like it's an amazing workout, skateboarding. Holy shit. When I do it now, it's like cardio like crazy, and
I was
like
pushing
it's
going
like
down
a
the
full
road
body
and my
thing.
feet were burning and my back was
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing workout. I realize now as a kid, I was definitely like in really good shape without even realizing it. And I would do it now for exercise because I still think it's really fun, but I do not want to get hurt. I don't want to break a wrist
Skateboarding in
or
your
something.
30s, you're asking for a major injury.
Yeah, especially because like, if you're going to fall, you're going to break your arm probably, or so
I was thinking
really
about
don't want to have
getting
to
a little
not
half pipe.
stream or
Not like a huge half pipe, just something like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 foot.
yeah, mini ramp.
And then just teach my daughter how to skateboard. I thought that'd be a cool little daddy-daughter thing to teach.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would pad up like crazy, be like the Michelin man, and then be like, yep, sweet, we're good.
Yeah. It's a good thing for kids to get into, honestly. Except like the cops, you might have some cop run-ins and stuff if you like actually are like a little skate rat.
Well, it depends where you are. Depends where you live. Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual cities, it depends where you go to skate. Yeah.
Go to the skate park. It's a good hobby, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as popular anymore. Everybody just wants to be like a streamer now. So like nobody like
YouTuber.
That's what it seems like at least, or like everybody's on TikTok or looking at their phone. I don't know.
Imagine it being at school and having your mobile phone in class.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember being blown away when we got those TI Texas Instrument calculators and someone figured out how to put like a Mario game on there. I was like, oh my God.
We're never going to get any work done.
Yeah. This game like Mafia or something, and you'd have like you'd be a mob boss and you'd have to try and like get more people in your crew, but you had health, and if you got killed.
Yeah. I remember that shit. Yeah.
It's just like that was
used to be
the peak of calculator gaming.
I used to be thrilled if I had a rubber band through a class. Like that was entertainment for me.
As he plays with his rubber band right now.
Yeah, right. I still need that.
I think it was calculus or stats. One of them, the teacher refused. It must have been calculus. The teacher refused to let anyone use calculators. Like he made everyone do it out like long. Oh. Like it was absolutely insane. Or he only allowed calculators on certain things. So like you can't pull out your calculator to do like simple math because he wants you to be able to learn in your head mostly. Yeah. But that made it so people can't just be sitting there playing on their TI whatever.
Exams required the calculator. Like that, using it was part of like the curriculum.
That's why I think it was. I don't remember. Maybe it was stats or. But anyways, one of them you don't really need calculators much.
I remember I had my Mario game loaded in. You'd have to like wire it up to someone else who had the Mario game, and they'd have to like give you the file somehow. I remember I had this math teacher before every test. He would wipe everyone's calculator because he was a paranoid weirdo. And he'd wipe my Mario game every fucking time. I was like, I wanted to kill him every time. You were like, I hated that guy.
I'm not doing it to cheat. I'm doing it to play Mario. I'm going to fail either way, you asshole.
I don't know how to cheat with this thing. Like, are you kidding me? That guy was a dick.
And they used to say about how you wouldn't have a calculator in your pocket. Well,
yeah, look at this now.
Showed you.
Yeah. And more. Literally,
I literally have a encyclopedia in my motherfucking pocket.
Yeah. And now everyone's stupid.
Yeah. There's that movie, I can't remember what it's called. It was something like
Idiocracy.
Maybe it's like the guy like teleports into the future and the America's like really stupid.
Yep,
that's Idiocracy. I haven't seen that movie, but I know about it.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have an update on your European Peaks thing, Pest?
Yes. So I literally have a form and a video that's going to go out. I think it's going to be like maybe tomorrow or tonight. So sometime in the next 24 hours. And you pretty much just got to tag anyone you think that'd be interested. There's going to be a position for, we're going to call it the third wheel. So the person that's going to be with me and Michael, who's going to be be a part of the driving the actual content. So we're going to like climb the highest peak of every country of Europe. And we're also there's going to be 2 trips. So the
Jesus.
first trip will be 2 to 4 weeks. That'll be somewhere in the first 3 months, where we'll most likely do the southeast area of Europe, and we're gonna like climb the highest peak and do a cool thing in each country, and then we go to the next country, and that will be the trial period for the bigger trip, and then straight after my daughter's first birthday, we'll fly to America, and that'll be about 75 days we'll have till TwitchCon, and we're gonna do the 75 days straight, just drive, mountain peak, cool thing, next country, and we're just gonna keep doing it, live streaming it, making YouTube content. And so, yeah, the third wheel application will be out. You don't have to be an influencer. It will help if you're actually, if you are like good in front of the camera, because part of the application is you got to send us a video of just responding, because that way we can actually tell if you're going to be camera savvy, I guess. But you don't have to be like an editor. Just give us a recording of you being able to talk to a camera. And yeah, so we're looking for a third wheel and a person to help organize it. So someone who's got a project management background or a travel agent to help be on the fly. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun trip. That's just said, like, I just want to make fun content. So I've got an RL backpack. I'm going to try and do some stuff, and then hopefully I can stream throughout the whole of Europe.
That's insane.
I like
how you said the
so
ambition on that is what, like, that's insane.
The small trip, to test will be 2 to 4 weeks around multiple countries through Europe.
Yeah, well, technically there's a trial trip before that. In most likely will be December this year, where we're going to do it in Australia. We're going to do every state in Australia in a week.
I'm gonna barely make it to TwitchCon and back. Like,
the finish line is going to be TwitchCon, so we'll like run into Paris, like TwitchCon, and then be like, I'm ready to go home now.
Yeah,
it'll be all finished. So, and that's because I don't know how much you guys know about my history, but in 2020 I was meant to go climb mountains around Europe.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of COVID and I guess also the popularity of my content, I kind of put it on the back burner and just said, "Oh, I'll do it later." But I've got this thing in my brain. I don't want to die and go, I never did the stuff I set out to do. And this climbing mountains thing is just one of them. So I'm going to make sure I get there. It sucks I'm going to spend so much time away from my family, but at the same time, I just want to do it. And then once I've done this big trip, I've had that experience.
No,
it's interesting how different people are. I
was like, no.
Yeah. I have no ambition to do, like, just the day-to-day little things make me happy, you know? I have no interest in climbing a mountain or, like, I don't know. Good for you, though.
A lot of the mountains aren't really that difficult to climb. I think the best way of explaining it is I like the idea of going to the mountains because they're usually remote areas. So then you actually get to meet people from the actual country and see the cultures. Like, imagine rocking up northern Norway, you know, like it's the middle of fucking nowhere, and you want to go climb this mountain, but now you're also in this like city where no one really speaks that much English and people are just living their normal life. And instead of going to like Paris, where it's like very touristy, you go into like these really remote places around Europe.
Yeah,
I've actually
that's
got
what I would love.
A connection to actually get into Ukraine and climb the highest peak of Ukraine as well, because it's in the southwest corner, away from all the conflict.
Yeah,
and there's a guy that he runs a military thing over there, and he can get me in there and climb it. So I'm actually really cool idea to do that too.
That would be sick. That's awesome.
Listen, I will tune in and live vicariously through your trip, but holy shit, I can't think of anything more anxiety-inducing, frightening, and uncomfortable for me.
But in all seriousness, that's good. It's good that there's people that will enjoy the trip without having to do it, and then they can actually see what we get up to. And
I want to see what you see. Yeah.
Michael and I will still try and do our podcast weekly. We're going to do a daily vlog where we could have a little GoPro each, and we'll ship those up, and so people will see our little daily vlogs. But there'll also be the content throughout the day for each country, and each country will be a YouTube video.
Don't take this personally, but I will not be applying for the third wheel.
I'm disappointed.
Could you imagine Aqua like hiking all this? Oh.
I might send in a video for fun, you know, but don't pick me. God, please.
Yeah, the idea is it's to help. Say we're going to drive 8 hours in a day. it's so Michael and I aren't driving 4 hours each and then trying to do whatever the hell we're trying to do that day. So we can break it up. Like one person will be talking to the stream,
We need
one
help.
person will be
Yeah.
resting, one person will be driving, and we can rotate the workload a lot better. And then we're just hoping we find someone that's really chill and fun. Like it doesn't have to be a dude; it can be a chick, or like we're open minded to whoever. And it could be someone who's never made content before. It could be a travel influencer. And I guess worst case scenario, it's if we can have like, if it has to be like one person for the first month and another person for the second month, that also is fine. But we don't want to have it every week. It's a different person because it's just getting that routine that will make the trip run smoothly.
You should bring like a cool dog with you too, like a really
we just find
sporty,
a dog on the side of the road on the first country. Like, hey, you're ours now.
I don't know. Maybe if like Michael has like a dog that would like to be out.
That's a lot of traveling for.
Taking dogs like internationally can be an issue too. Yeah,
because I always just love those like bushcraft videos where they have a dog with them. You know, it just like but spices it up. I just love dogs.
Can you imagine how much extra work Pest would have to do to like walk the dog, make the dog?
I know, but
the problem wouldn't be really keeping the dog satisfied. It'd be you get to a national park and they're like, no dogs, and you're like, tie it to a tree and be like, I'll be back in 3 days.
What is your mountain climbing background? Like you said, you planned on in 2020, but
I haven't done a lot of technical climbs, so like stuff where it requires you to do actual rock climbing.
Yeah,
the majority of hikes through Europe are not technical. I've done majority of the highest peaks in Australia for each state, which aren't huge. I've done volcanoes in Indonesia, and I've done some other smaller stuff around the world, but I haven't done anything insane. I'm more about, I just love being outside in nature and away from people.
What an interesting career you've chosen. That being said,
and you can kind of see where I'm like, I want to get back outside again. Like,
well, he's away from people at least.
Yeah. No, that's what I've always said about traveling too. Was I'd like to go to places that were like remote, small thing. I like hiking, but not what you're talking about. I like 2 hour hike, 3 hour hike done.
Kind of stemmed into this idea of like I'd probably end up having to backpack most of it. Like that's where I was originally. It's like I'll get to Europe and then I might have $20,000 or I might have $50,000 saved, and then I would have to get trains or a bus or hitchhike or stay at. There's an app, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like you can literally just say, "Hey, I need a couch to sleep on for the night. I'm traveling."
Or couch surfing,
yeah, couch surfing. That's it. And it's like you have a reference from all the previous ones, so people know you're not like a murderer or whatever. So
it's like an Airbnb, but you just stay with the people.
I just feel like you actually get to meet people from that country. So when it gets closer, the cool thing is we're going to be really listening to the community and being like, hey, has anyone got any good ideas to do this country or whatever? And the cool thing we do might be like just go to a cool restaurant, or it might be like, hey, there's an amazing go-karting place in this one area, and we'll just embrace it, whatever it is.
That sounds like a once-in-a-lifetime trip to have a lot of life experience. And,
and then come home and go back to whatever I do.
Yeah.
I think it's the way to show that I'm serious about making IRL content as well. And I think that's kind of the reason why I'm doing it now is first before my daughter gets too old and I want to spend more time, but I can literally go, hey, I'm going to go do this cool stuff, get it out of my system, and then come home and focus on the funny IRL videos at home.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting you brought that up because I wouldn't have brought it up myself, but it's cool that you remember it.
I didn't know you had a video going out like tonight or tomorrow, but no, it's stuck in my head.
Yeah. I don't want to use this as a giant advertisement.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, you're doing more. You're doing cool stuff. Like, come on.
We have nothing to advertise. So.
We have Marauder-thon.
We're going to be hanging out in Kings' room in a couple of days. That's about it.
No, we always want to obviously if we have a guest, we like to promote whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's not like, that many people really watch this these days.
No,
we got some great viewers though. They'll be into everything.
I think it's I just want people to in life just to do what they set out to do, even if it's something small. It doesn't have to be climbing mountains in Europe. Like if you always wanted to learn guitar, go to a secondhand shop, buy a shitty guitar and start learning. Like, why wait until you're at your deathbed to?
You know what? We were talking about this on the members only episode right before this, before you showed up. I was talking about that YouTube channel, Mike Boyd, where have you seen this guy?
No,
where he like picks a skill, he like picks something to learn and he makes a YouTube video about learning that thing. And I think it's so genius and so cool to like watch that process. It's just such a smart idea for a YouTube channel. I think it's really neat how he just picks something up and learns it. It's inspiring. I want to do more of that myself.
That's actually really cool. This week I learned the umbrella trick. Learning to make
it's always like weird
music.
little party trick things, like spinning a basketball, learning how to backflip, or like learning how to do a Rubik's Cube, like just shit like that. And he like documents the whole learning process.
Learning to make fire the hard way. This week I learned to cycle upstairs. That's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think like we get too much into our own routines, and it's just good to put yourself out of your comfort zone every now and then. And that guy obviously does it weekly now. But
like I got this new car, this old, 87 car, and all of a sudden I'm like really interested in like taking care of old cars, and like, I want to put a cup holder in it. So I'm like researching how to like install a cup holder on an old BMW, it's cool. I'm excited to have a new
what
interest.
You want to do with a car too. Like most
Baby
people are like
steps.
No, but I love that most people are like, I want to restore it to like its original, whatever, blah blah blah. And Aqua's like,
well, Zeecham already did that.
I think a cup holder could be cool.
Zeecham's told me like, the one thing I wanted to do was install like an armrest and a cup holder. I'm like, you can do that. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've never done this before.
At least it's not like, oh, I'm going to go buy a Lada Niva from Russia.
Yeah.
Have it in Australia. Put a $5,000 sound system in it, a face shield, a Persian rug.
Well, here's the difference between you and me.
Yeah. No, don't do what I did.
You're honestly, about to go
this
climb
is why I have
mountains.
no hair. That fucking car, man. Yeah. I have the ultimate video. After this, I'll tell you what it is to finish the whole series. But there's going to be one more video. I'm going to do like a Top Gear race around my track on my farm. But that's the next video that goes out. But the actual video to end the series won't come out for a few years. But I'll tell you after the thing.
Okay.
I have to keep it a secret because when it goes live, it's going to blow people's minds.
Well,
that's a decent point to end it on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to hear about it, so we should probably end it. So, yeah.
Shout out to Pestily, guys.
Shout out to Pestily. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. You guys can find me on twitch.tv/Pestily. And I have a Patreon now if you want to help fund all the IRL content. I do behind the scenes stuff, 2 to 3 videos for behind the scenes. I do a podcast as well now on my Pestily Unmasked channel, and also have extra podcast bits. We call them the bonus podcast bits, the BPBs.
You've got your podcast with
Michael.
Now.
So thanks so much for having me on, guys. Make sure you like and comment for this video, and if you're not a member of the actual podcast, the Gamer Hall, make sure you join the membership program as well. It does really help these guys out in funding what they do, and if you enjoy the content, great for them. We didn't do our ad read today, so we'll have to do that after it and stick it in somewhere.
Splice it in. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I figured that out.
He's a professional. This is why he's successful. He's like doing a way better outro than us. We're like, okay. Oops. Yeah, what Pestily said.
What episode number is this?
93.
93.
94, I think. 94. Yeah.
94. Well, yeah, thank you for being on. We're happy to have you, and we appreciate you taking the time.
It's my pleasure.
Watch Pestyly's new IRL content. It's great.
My last gaming video ever goes out tonight.
Oh,
on my main channel.
Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna watch for sure. It'll be
It's not like
bittersweet.
a crazy amazing video, but it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. All right.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
What's up, gamers? Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. We put a lot of work into these. If you liked it, consider becoming a member just by clicking the join button down below this video. Becoming a member will get you access to exclusive members-only benefits like a monthly live stream, as well as an extra hour-long episode every week on top of the main episode. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate you. And as always, we will see you next week.